I'm calling the meeting to order. Mrs. Norian, would you lead us in the flag salute?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine Law Statement, all requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met for this meeting of the Board of Education in the Borough of Oradell. Notice of this meeting was filed with the Record and Town News and all persons requesting such notice. Mr. Darian, would you read the mission statement?
The Oradell Public School District is dedicated to the ongoing pursuit of educational excellence through comprehensive, innovative curriculum and instruction. The district is committed to providing opportunities for social, emotional, and academic discovery to foster curiosity, courage, and character. Our goal is to prepare our students to become lifelong learners who are self-directed, resilient, productive, responsible citizens.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mrs. Needham?
Here.
Mr. Griffin? Here. Mrs. Levy?
Here.
Mrs. Noyan?
Here.
Mrs. Shapiro? Mrs. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Darian?
Here.
Mrs. Nichols?
Here. At this time, we'll open to the public for agenda items only. Please raise your digital hand.
Oh, it's under.
Okay, not seeing any, we'll move forward. The only thing I want to tell you is that Greg and I will be putting the committees together for our next meeting, so we'll have that ready for the next meeting. So Superintendent's report? Business Administrator's report?
Just a couple things I'd like to mention. So I'd like to take the opportunity now to recognize that January is the New Jersey School Board Recognition Month. So thank you all for your service. A lot of people might not understand the amount of time that everyone puts in, all the school boards throughout the state, especially here in Oradell. And just wanted to say that you should be recognized for your time here. Yep. Thank you. Another housekeeping item, just to let you know, so right now the personal, relative, and financial disclosure statements are being delayed. The system is not in operation right now in the NJ Homing website. As soon as it is, I'll be sending out email links for all of you to fill out. The deadline is still going to be April 30th. Nothing has changed with the deadline yet, but they're still waiting to get the system up. And then finally, we're putting the finishing touches on the audit right now for the 1920 school year. So at the February 10th board meeting, we'll have a presentation from Mr. Jeffrey Bliss, our auditor. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving to minutes, review of January 6th. Any questions or comments, please email Mr. Marmara. Right now, we'll approve the meetings of December 9th. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes of December 9th.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Walker. Any questions? Mrs. Norian?
I just wanted to make a comment that I had offered a suggestion for Mr. Memora with regard to my comment regarding the curriculum meeting, that's all. So it's just a clarification.
You want to just tell us what it is since we're going to vote on it? And
Well, what it is on the minutes, it states that I thank the administrators for their presentation. I thought that they were well prepared. The well prepared part was for congratulating them for the meeting that I had with them for curriculum. I appreciate and I congratulate them for all the work that went into their report, but I also was very impressed with how they came to the curriculum committee meeting, and I wanted that expressed in the minutes.
Okay, so do you have that, Mr. Marmara?
Yes, yep, I'll note that.
So is everyone okay? We'll be voting on the minutes, that version.
As amended?
As amended. Call the question?
Mrs. Needham?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Levy?
Yes.
Mrs. Noyan?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Darian?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, committee reports. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Darian.
Yes, I have no report.
Curriculum, Mrs. Norian.
No report at this time.
Finance technology, Mrs. Shapiro is not here. Mr. Darian, would you like to take that?
Yes, I'd like to introduce items D1 through D5.
No.
No.
No? I'm
new
not
one?
doing that?
Do you
Look at the
want
one in your, that's in your folder.
1 and 2.
We
One and
pulled the
two.
financials because our treasurer
Oh.
is going to look at them next month.
Okay, so I have the wrong version. Sorry.
I'll second it.
Okay.
You want me to reintroduce this, or you waiting?
Yeah, just say.
Okay, so yeah, I'd like to introduce items D1 through D2.
I'll second it.
Thank you,
Any
John.
questions? Call the question?
Thanks.
Mrs. Needham,
Abstain.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Delegate report, Mr. Walsh.
I have nothing to report.
Personnel, Mrs. Walker.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to present F1.
I'll second it.
Any questions?
Just because it's a start date, we usually see if there was, if this is an extension, it would be a revised start date. So I'm thinking that it's just within.
There's a question on B, unpaid with health benefits. We're not sure if it's supposed to be with benefits or not. So advice of Mr. Merlino is approve it, and then we're going to look into it, and we can always redo it next time.
And just so we're clear, there's health benefits. So any employee, whether they're on unpaid or paid leave, they have health benefits. Under the law, Chapter 78, as long as it's a leave within their FMLA, that first 12 weeks, they just have to pay towards a piece of it, Chapter 78, a portion of those premiums. If it's an unpaid leave after the 12 weeks are expired, it is the employee's responsibility to pay 100% of it. We just don't know if based on this limited information, if this employee's already exhausted her 12 weeks of FMLA. My recommendation is let's approve this now, and we could always adjust this at the February meeting.
Any other questions?
You're talking about 4B, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Call the question?
Mrs. Needham,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Policy, Mrs. Levy? Public relations, Mr. Griffin?
No report.
We will open to the public at this time. Please raise your digital hand. Okay, not seeing any, we'll move on to old or new business.
I guess it would be considered old business now, since Jane Heady was approved. We accepted her resignation. I think that we should make some sort of a comment because I think there are a lot of little ones who will be missing her. She's offered her time at Oradell Public School and I know she'll be missed by a lot of the youngsters.
We'll be doing a retirement ceremony in
Right,
June.
right.
yeah.
But I just wanted to make a comment since it was included
Yeah.
in personnel.
Ms. Norian?
Just as another question, I just got New Jersey School Board's notification this afternoon in the mail, and it talked about CUSAC. Where are we standing as far as for CUSAC since they're saying that we don't have to?
Well, okay, the state is making a list right now of the schools districts that were in good standing at the last CUSAC, and we would be eligible for a waiver. Now, that waiver would mean it's not just for the 1 year, it would be that we
Till our
don't have to be
next-
CUSAC'd again till.
For when we fit in the
23.
next cycle?
Yes, right. So I spoke with the superintendent, the county superintendent, and he said the list should be coming out any day now.
Okay.
So, we should find out. I'll send something out immediately.
Oh, no problem. I just noticed that it came through today,
Yes.
so I figured I'd ask.
Mrs. Levy?
Oh, sorry. I guess this question would be for Mr. Mamora. I noticed on the New Jersey school boards like to do our training. For our new training, we're not, I guess, it won't let us get in to register. Is that something that has to be done?
So all the training has to flow through me. So you just make the request through me. You could do it through email, and then I would have to go into the system in New Jersey School Board system, and I can register you that way.
Just for whatever's required?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you're
And are
welcome.
they all set up yet or no? Not yet, right?
The only one that's not is governance 4 right now. Everything else is set up. And you can either choose if you want to do it online, like a webinar style, or you can do a live webinar. So they have the option to do a live webinar. So you just have to be mindful of which one you select. I think with governance 4, there is the live webinar version, but not the regular pre-recorded webinar.
Thank you.
Any other?
When is our next meeting?
Next Thursday.
Thursday.
This coming Thursday?
Not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, January 28th. Mrs. Walker?
I understand we received notification that there'll be no required testing of seniors in high school to graduate. What impact does that have, if any, on standardized, the 12th grade graduation requirements
Have
been taken away if they're
Yes.
not necessary? Does that impact, or do we have anything definitive on what we're doing with our testing? With
No, no. Megan and I were just talking about that. Right now, they're telling us we're going ahead with state testing. That's as much as we have right now. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to do that, especially with some of the kids that are virtual, but that's the word right now. So we haven't received anything else.
The state realizes this is already almost February, I guess.
I know.
They might. They're also looking at removing the SGOs. Is that
They're removing it from the teacher evaluation.
from the teacher evaluation?
That's already
Yes.
been-
That's all done.
That's
and
done.
that-
That's a done
Okay.
deal, yes.
Okay.
Anybody else? So we need to go into closed session for a legal and a personnel item. Would someone make a motion?
So moved. I move we go into a closed session.
I second it.
Okay, 7:54, going into a closed session. We will not be returning to take any action.